Guys, these last few days have been just so stressful. We have literally 3 days in South Florida, 3 days, or I think it's 2 days or 3 days until Hurricane Irma hits. And guys, I've been trying to get prepared as much as possible. I'm gonna show you guys kind of what I've gotten set up so far at my house. I'm almost done. Just before I begin with this video, I kind of wanted to make an important message. If you guys missed my earlier video today, you should go check it out. But if you didn't, very important message to you guys right now. And if you guys can like the video and share this video, that'd be amazing. It helped the word get out there, and you know, every like you do leave on this video, it helps spread the video a ton. So thank you so much. If you live in South Florida by the Keys or Miami, guys, there is a lot of evacuation notices going down in Miami right now, and the Keys, more importantly, it's like mandatory for you people in Miami. I guarantee, you know, everything's gonna be almost okay in Miami. There's gonna be a lot of wreckage, I just know that. Super nervous for you guys in Miami, so there is a mandatory evacuation. Please leave, because this is getting bad, guys. Like, it's getting worse and worse. Every time I wake up and I look at the news, it's like more bad news. It's not even good news. There's no change. It's literally just straight bad news. Like, I woke up thinking that this hurricane may have slowed down a little bit, may have stopped, or meaning like the speeds, you know, it's been at 185-mile-an-hour winds for the past, like, I think 2 days. Then it hits these islands, and still the speed hasn't slowed down. It's the same speed, 185 miles an hour. It's actually scary because it's so unusual for a hurricane to do this, and there's a lot of people talking about it right now. Everyone's praying for Florida, and I appreciate you guys praying for me and my family. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be okay. If you can't tell, I look exhausted because I've been helping out with my mom, and I'm just getting a lot of stuff done. But just make sure you guys are okay. Just make sure your family's good. Just, you know, make sure you guys have all the supplies, water, you know, just canned goods, you know, non-perishable items is the best way to go about this. We're probably going to be without electric for at least 3 to 4 days. I'm thinking, you know, at the least. I hope it's not more than that, because I want to be able to upload these videos as much as possible and, you know, update you guys during the hurricane. Didn't tell you guys this, but I'm going to be going live during the hurricane. So I'm going to live stream the hurricane on my phone while I'm getting hit. I think it's going to be something that you guys want to see that aren't going to be experiencing this, how it really feels to be like in a hurricane. And I'm nervous already. I know there's been a lot of comments. I read your comments every day, guys. Recently, I've been reading them more, and I just see a lot of you guys telling me to leave my house. And as you guys know, Florida's getting a lot of evacuation notices in certain counties. So I'm not doing that, because first, I have my pets that I need to make sure that they're safe. I need to make sure my family gets out. We can't all just leave like that, guys. You don't understand. I don't want to get into it too much. Just a few family issues. We can't just up and leave. Can't just take my grandma, or can't take my grandpa, or my other grandma and grandpa. You know, it's just, it doesn't work like that. So make sure you guys are safe. Make sure your family's safe. But anyways, getting into what I want to show you in this video, you're gonna call me fat. Okay, you're gonna call me fat, and I blame my girlfriend. You listen, you didn't have to go all out like this, but I'm glad she did. Look at all this food this girl bought for me. Look at it all. Dude, we have chips. She got the 24-pack of the baby bottle pops and the push pops. We got so much stuff. We got the Scooby-Doo gummies. We got roll-ups. We got Rice Krispie treats. You know, the Cape Cod kettle corn. You know, the salt and vinegar is the best, baby. We got ramen. We got so much water, guys. We're pretty much set for this hurricane as of right now. I want to show you guys the damage that you're supposed to be expecting from this. If you guys are going to be in South Florida during this, just make sure you guys are prepared for the worst. I mean, I'm prepared for the worst. I'm just afraid of this house caving in or something happening here, you know. This is going to be one hell of a ride, and I'm glad that there's a lot of people supporting me in this. I'm not uploading my usual videos as of right now on my YouTube channel, which I'm sorry about that. I know I just been vlogging kind of what's been going on, my preparation for the hurricane. I hope you guys stick with me through this. I love you guys so much. And if you guys can like the video and share, and more importantly, subscribe and turn notifications on to keep updated with what's going on with this hurricane. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys later with another video.
That monster hurricane, the strongest ever on record in the Atlantic Ocean, slamming into the Caribbean already, turning deadly, ravaging islands. And I want to get back to that video. Just listen to the sound as it slams St. Martin. An extremely powerful storm, so many islands getting hammered, many Americans who could not get out in time trying to ride out this hurricane. This satellite image tonight shows the eye of this Category 5 storm fully formed there. At this hour, Irma still tracking right toward Florida, but there are several other states now in the possible path. And I want to show you this tonight. This image coming in, that's the eye again, but in the middle there, that is the island of Barbuda. Authorities there late this afternoon reporting at least 90% of the buildings on that island could be gone now. ABC's Lindsay Janis is in the middle of it all. She leads us off tonight.
Tonight, Hurricane Irma tearing through the Caribbean, claiming at least 3 lives with ferocious 185-mile-an-hour winds. Irma pummeling the U.S. Virgin Islands, home to more than 90,000 U.S. citizens.
It is really ripping right now.
In St. Martin, the government says 95% of the island is destroyed, buildings shredded, even the airport damaged. A dangerous wave sweeping this person right off their feet.
We tried to stop the water, but it's flooding.
Lauren Mayo is one of 5 women on a fitness retreat trapped in her hotel.
We're on the 6th floor, so the flooding is kind of amazing because the wind and rain are just bringing it through the sliding doors.
Newlyweds Sarah and Scott Riggins locking themselves in the bathroom.
We've got the wind going about 100 miles per hour. You can really hear it outside, shaking the doors.
This image showing Barbuda right in the center of Irma's eye. The Prime Minister saying some 90% of the island's buildings are destroyed. Hurricane hunters inside Irma finding it's the first Atlantic Ocean storm ever to maintain winds of at least 180 miles an hour for this long.
It's 10 a.m. here in Puerto Rico, and Hurricane Irma appears to have arrived. We've got some very powerful winds, rain, and surf.
San Juan, a ghost town. The governor warning people not to go outside under any circumstances, saying the island has never seen a hurricane like this before. More than 1,000 in shelters.
We don't know what's going to happen. It's scary, and I pray for everyone that's out there don't want to leave their homes.
And Lindsay Janis joins us from San Juan, Puerto Rico tonight. Lindsay, we can see the effects right there behind you, and more than 500,000 without power there already.
Yes, David, the head of the power company says it could be between 4 and 6 months before power is restored to some of those areas. We are being told to expect sustained hurricane-force winds for at least a couple of hours tonight. There's also major concern about storm surge and flash flooding. It's going to be a long night. David?
All right, long night indeed. Lindsay Janis and our team there in San Juan, stay safe tonight. And as we told you last night here on the broadcast, we were looking at 2 possible scenarios for Florida. Tonight, a much clearer picture here. The new models are now in, and also North and South Carolina declaring states of emergency. So let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z tonight. She's been tracking Irma with us all afternoon in the newsroom. And where is Irma right now?
Irma is northeast of San Juan, Puerto Rico by about 50 miles. That center of the eye, which the eye is about 20 miles across, is moving west-northwest at 16. So San Juan, my primary concern for that part, and Puerto Rico, the northeast corner, flash flooding. But now as this moves on, with 185-mile-per-hour winds still, the pressure, David, is actually dropping. So we could still see strengthening yet tonight. That's what's so frightening. Looking at these hurricane warnings, the Turks and Caicos, the southern Bahamas now in them, even Freeport and Nassau into the hurricane watch. Turks and Caicos through the southern Bahamas could see up to 20-foot storm surge. These are islands that only have elevation of a couple of feet. The timing, Thursday into Friday. Friday into Saturday, it's just north of Cuba. Saturday into Sunday, it moves toward Florida. And Sunday afternoon, we have a Category 4 in this scenario sitting over Miami. Storm surge there, heavy rains, incredible power with winds up to 3. So it stays very strong in this. I want everyone to pay attention to the cone though, because still looking at Georgia and South Carolina. Additionally, in that cone, in this in this scenario, at least 75-mile-per-hour winds, so hurricane-force winds, Lindsay was just talking about it, extend 50 miles on each side. So you're not safe, even if you're away from this. The computer models, as you said, coming together on that east side of Florida.
Coming together. So 2 scenarios. We said west side or east side, and tonight we believe it's east side. Here's the spaghetti here.
We believe that it's east side, and that would also mean that for Savannah or Charleston, you could have impact early next week, and certainly inland flooding is still a major concern of mine, up through even Asheville.
All right, Ginger Z with us again.
Right now, maintaining strength, Hurricane Irma remains a Category 5 storm as it moves past Puerto Rico tonight.
Even though it could be several days before we begin to feel that potential impact, there are still a great many questions on the ultimate final path of Irma insofar as Florida.
We have everything you need to know as millions of Floridians make last-minute Irma preps. We are simulcasting right now on WPTV and our partner station, Fox 29, for the next hour.
We, of course, course, begin with Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel for the latest on Irma. Steve.
All right, Category 5 hurricane, wind still 185 miles an hour. If you watch the eye the last few hours, it's going through these little wobbles back and forth. You see how little bounces as it moves west-northwest. But what the Hurricane Center is looking for is an average trend over about 6 to 8 hours, and that trend is west-northwest. So if you draw a line from that point to where it started, the general track is still the same as it was last night. Now we are watching a storm that's actually moving a little bit faster. It's 950 miles at this point away from our coastline. The hurricane force winds, that's 74 miles an hour stronger, stretch out about 45 miles. The tropical storm force winds, roughly 40 miles an hour up to hurricane strength, are out about 160 in the widest part of the storm. And most of the strong winds are actually in the northeastern side of this. The northern two quadrants actually have some of the strongest winds. There's Puerto Rico there. This is the radar right now out of Puerto Rico. So they're getting some of these outer feeder bands as they work in across the northern side of the island. But the core of this hurricane, the most damaging winds are to the north, and they will stay there overnight. And there's a look at the loop, and you can see this storm continues to move closer to the Turks and Caicos and then eventually into the Bahamas. So here's what we're looking at for a timeline. Still a 5 Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Then it works in just north of Cuba, still a Category 5 Friday afternoon. And then into Saturday afternoon, this is the key. And all of the models are agreeing on this turn, but it happens Friday afternoon, early to mid-afternoon, with this Category 4 hurricane, which has been paralleling the north coast of Cuba, turning and then moving in towards South Florida. The winds about 145 miles an hour Saturday afternoon. At this point, as it makes its way from Miami up through Lauderdale and then eventually into Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast, we'll see increasing wind speeds. We'll see those feeder bands, the torrential downpours work in, and then eventually off the coastline after that. Watches and warnings. Nothing has changed, and we may not see a hurricane watch for our area tonight. It may be issued tomorrow morning. The Hurricane Center is hinting at that, but we do have watches now in effect for the northwestern Bahamas, so right on our doorstep. And what's going on with the computer models tonight? Some subtle changes out there, as some of the models have now shifted to the east, 10, 20, 30 miles. Hey, we'll take it at this point, because a storm that's even 20 and 30 miles off the coast compared to the official track at this point is huge. It is the difference between damage to structures compared to something that would cause power outages and some minor structural damage if the storm center stays just off the coast. We saw that as Matthew worked through last year. If the core of Matthew had made it along our coastline and made a landfall here, the damage would have been much, much different. The storm eventually tracks up to the north after that. So it looks like this weak Bermuda high, or weakening high, helps us a little bit. The probability of tropical storm force winds now about 80 to 90% across our area. That is out through the weekend. And hurricane force wind probabilities is about 35 to 40%, and it will increase. So here's just a quick breakdown of what we can expect. Friday, you can still make your preparations as this massive Category 5 hurricane makes its way towards South Florida. Official forecast has it weakening to a 4. Saturday, tropical storm force winds develop during the day. They strengthen, the squalls come in, heavy rainfall, rough seas. Saturday night, overnight, we get into some hurricane conditions, especially around Palm Beach County, and then that continues to work up toward the Treasure Coast. Sunday's our peak day, where the heaviest rainfall, the strongest winds, potential major hurricane wind gusts and sustained winds are possible on Sunday before things start to improve on Monday. Much more on the storm coming up in a few minutes.